Since 2006, we here at GamesRadar have been awarding the best, the brightest, the most brilliant games with our highly coveted Platinum Chalice Awards. Along with a full range of specific awards, we also give the big prize to the one singular game of the year. For 2011, our 5 phenomenal nominees are The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, Portal 2, The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings, Batman: Arkham City, The Elder Scrolls: Skyrim. In case you haven't already played all 5 of these remarkable nominees, we've laid out all the reasons why they're standouts in a phenomenal year for gamers. But as the saying goes, there can be only one. The 2011 Game of the Year winner is Portal 2. And now here's why Portal 2 takes home the Platinum Chalice for Best Game of 2011.
There you are. Let's get started.
So I fought really hard to have Portal 1 as our 2007 Game of the Year, not the orange box, just Portal 1, even at its 4 hours all by itself. So I'd say my expectations were high. They were so high that I actually had to lower them on purpose because I was afraid that they would be dashed, that experience was unrepeatable.
I expected a great storytelling from Valve. I expected an interesting experience. And I expected a puzzler that didn't really feel like a puzzler.
Crazier puzzles, you know, it's like they clearly had an idea to play around with the first Portal, but I was hoping for more and better and interesting puzzles.
It fulfilled my expectations pretty brilliantly. I certainly didn't expect it to go to the length that it did. I mean, my first look at the game was just with Atlas and Peabody at PAX a couple years ago, and I just sort of imagined it would be like that, like it would just sort of abandon Chell as a character and focus on these 2 robots and be very personality free and focused on the puzzles. And what I got was kind of the opposite of that, that it was, you know, much more focused on Chell than even the first game.
It blew me away. For as far as I thought they were going to go with it, with like Wheatley and GLaDOS coming back, they went even further with some of the most mind-bending puzzles, some of the most interesting new characters, and they managed to do it all most impressively while maintaining the Portal feel, which is probably the hardest thing that they had to deal with.
It extrapolated on what made the puzzle so great in Portal, like with the different gels and the bigger areas when we got outside the testing areas. I was pretty blown away by how far they took that puzzle design.
Oh, I know we're in danger, but this is amazing!
The most magical moment for me was just being around Wheatley. Like, Wheatley was just such a funny guy, but also kind of cowardly. And my favorite moment was him talking about how much he disliked working with humans, and then saying like, oh, I mean, humans are great. Yeah, that's a wonderful species.
That point later in the game where you have these 3 valves of gel flowing and you have to find a way to shoot a portal onto one area and then get the gel blasting onto another, so you get that white portal gel so that you can get the bouncy gel, and just combining it all, the rhythm and the flow of that one stage kind of epitomized everything that was magical about what Valve did with the game.
So early in the game, there's an Easter egg. It's a hidden room. You kind of go behind a wall. Most players wouldn't find it. I know most of my friends and coworkers didn't find it, but just tucked away in the corner of that room was a small radio. You have to listen really carefully, and there's a song playing, and that song is beautiful. It sums up the themes of Portal 2 perfectly, and yet Valve must have known that only a half to a third of the players would ever find that, and yet they still brought the same level of detail and polish and brilliance to just that one Easter egg that they did to the rest of the game.
I think I knew that Portal 2 was going to be Game of the Year for me when I played a co-op for the first time with a friend, and we spent hours going through all the extra puzzles and rooms that are available after you finish the single-player experience.
I knew pretty early on that it was going to be a Game of the Year contender because Portal 1 was so good, and I knew that was a Game of the Year contender as well. And this one went beyond that, and it's like the writing, the puzzles, the level design, and everything about it. I knew it was going to be something special.
I'd say right at the end, like up to that point, there were a lot of moments that were great, but there's let's just say the last time you shoot the portal gun is such an amazing moment for me that everything just clicked together. And then the finale after that just left me with such a great feeling, like I just knew when it was over, this is my Game of the Year.